Hello. Today we're going to talk about language study outside the classroom.
Why outside the classroom? Why not inside the classroom? What you mean, like homework?
Yes, I mean homework, but not with pen and paper, not traditional homework.
Why not traditional? What's wrong with traditional? It has been cool for so many years.
And so many years ago, Bob Dylan sang the famous words that times they're a-changing. And to see how true this is, let's take a look at a few areas of life. This is what cars were like 20 years ago, and this is what they look like today. This is what TV sets were like 20 years ago, and this is what they look like today. Finally, this is what junior high students were like 20 years ago, and this is what they look like today.
Well, physically they don't look different, but I think the brain work in a different way than they used to like 20 years ago. And the question is, when did that happen?
Well, according to Dr. Jacek Peżalski, the 1980s are considered to have been the beginning of the digital native era.
I mean digital native? I mean those funny guys who don't think in a linear way, they don't need notes following the 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. Those who are more visual and they prefer pictures to reading text or to writing them themselves. On those who definitely have a problem with focusing on anything for longer than 5 minutes, unless it's the computer minutes.
Oh, yes, you're right. On the one hand, they are the funny guys that we normally associate with the short attention span. But they also absorb learning content much more quickly, and they are capable of multitasking. They can do a number of things at the same time, and it's all connected with linking different types of content one into another.
Funny people. Do I know them?
Well, yes. Let's take a look at a few of these young children, young students, and some of these children are yours, you know.
Well, if this is the case, because some of these are mine, well, something should be done about it. And maybe we should start with telling them that they were not downloaded, but they were born, because I think sometimes they need this kind of clarification.
Oh, this may be a good start, but I also believe that a modern classroom should be a reflection of the time that we're living in. And since the new generation function in a different way, I see no reason why they should enter the old school for 45 minutes. On the contrary, we should implement the new technologies in the classroom as well.
So are you suggesting that because they can't focus and they can't work with books for a bit longer, we should abandon all the books? We should let them free with those mobile phones, computers, tablets, and let them do whatever they want to?
Well, abandoning all books is a brave idea, although an interesting one. But how about getting rid of the conventional workbook for a start?
Well, this looks modern. It's just like nice. There are pictures, colorful. There are things to click. But, it's just a book in a computer, and that's it.
Well, that's not it. It gives the students a chance to develop at their own time, at their own pace, practically everywhere.
Okay, that's nice. It sounds promising for the student, It helps to manage their time, but does it help to manage my time, my teacher's time?
It's a tool that offers you individual approach to every student with lots of the usual marking or checking homework done for you, which saves your time. Come to think of it, all the benefits of this e-workbook, of this platform, can be put down to one idea: managing time.
But whose time?
Well, it's both the student's time and your own time, the teacher's time.
Well, I can see that in the case of students. They have all those tablets, they have the computers, they have mobile phones, and thanks to these, they can do their homework not only at home, but also on the bus, maybe when they are waiting for extra tennis classes, maybe when they are waiting for the swimming lesson. So in this way, they can do their homework in lots of different places, but they can take the book with them as well.
Well, since students very often forget to take their books to school, I can't see them taking their books anywhere they go. And there's no way that they can forget to take their mobile phone with them wherever they go, because that's just what they do. So perhaps they can start doing their homework at school on the school computer, then continue doing it on the bus with their mobile phone, and finish at home on their dad's tablet PC.
So it's like having 3 different books in 3 different places.
Yeah, it is, but it's so much lighter, and it gives them a chance to revise what they have learned on that day a few times a day in different places.
You mean like because they can't focus? I mean, there is some research showing that, people have shorter and shorter attention span. 10 years ago, people spent about 12 seconds watching an average website. Now, they spend only 8 seconds, which suggests that humanity is slowly going into, very, very short attention span period.
Funny you should say that, because, I've read that the average attention span of the goldfish is about 9 seconds.
Or maybe that's not the direction in which I want my students to evolve. So, maybe we should do the contrary. We should let them go home and do the exercises. Maybe they should spend 15 minutes at one go, or maybe half an hour doing all the homework, making the effort, which will teach them how to focus, rather than let them do the homework, 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there.
Yeah, but at the moment there's no hard data which proves that doing your homework for 30 minutes is better than doing it for 10 minutes 3 times a day. And what we do know, however, is that young generation prefer to learn this way at short intervals.
Unwillingly, I have to agree. The thing is, though, that you told me about revising different things, doing different exercises, but you haven't told me how this can be so individual.
Well, once you realize that every unit of this e-workbook contains over 100 different exercises, you may assign a few exercises as homework for all the students in your class, and then select a few, vocabulary or grammar, it's your choice and the student's needs, for the students who have difficulty in those areas.
Yeah, okay. And there's one more thing. They are digital natives. I am a digital immigrant, but they are digital natives, which means that the natural habitat is the Facebook, the internet, and everything that's there. So probably they may function better in the natural habitat. So when they can get extra information from hyperlinks, just like when they read a web page and they see something interesting, they just click on it and they get this information. When you have a workbook where you have grammar information or grammar explanation attached to an exercise, maybe it's easier for students, instead of going to the shelf and getting another book, just check and work this way.
But yeah, you're right. But the thing I like most about this platform is that you can reverse the usual situation in which you start a class with the new material. So you can perhaps ask your students to do certain exercises at home or read a text at home, and then when they come to class you can start the lesson by talking about the material and talking about the problem areas which they have encountered.
Well, this e-workbook seems to be fine and good at managing our students' time. It helps them get access everywhere. They can revise at the pace they want to revise at. They can use hyperlinks and they can get prepared for the class. That's all nice, but is it so good that it will help me with everything? Will it do everything for me as well?
Well, it will not do everything for you. As I said before, it's a tool. And no hammer or no spanner will do all the work for the craftsman. But surely, having the right tools will help you to do your job better. For one thing, you said that we are digital immigrants, which means that we use the same technology as our students. For example, you are watching us at the moment through the internet, which shows that we are not that afraid of whatever is digital. And first of all, using this e-workbook is as easy as using the internet browser. All you have to do is you log in using a password and your login information.
So I log in, all the homework is done there, and what? The beginning of the class is like we don't check homework, we just come in. I don't ask my students about what they've done, what they haven't, we don't read all those lines.
You can still check homework, but you save so much time by not talking about what is obvious or by not talking about the answers which everybody got right. So before the class, you just take a look at the homework statistics and see which exercises were the most trouble.
So I will get no more excuses like I couldn't do my homework because, the dog ate my workbook?
Well, definitely. No more excuses such as, I have forgotten my CD or I have lost the CD, so I couldn't do the listening exercise, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, I like that because it helps me control my students, and they are teenagers, very young teenagers, and they need lots of control. But on the other hand, what can you do about, let's imagine a student doing their homework and then sending an SMS to all his friends or her friends with the answers. What can you do about that?
Well, honestly speaking, there's nothing you can do about that. But I think it's similar to our students copying homework just before the lesson in the school hall, which I think has happened to many of us.
Okay. I'm happy that I can control them, and I'm happy that I can see what they've done. But but it's only a computer. You know, it's somewhere there, somewhere on the server. How can I get the information about what they've done? How can I get the report on what they've done?
Well, leaving it on the server makes it safer and accessible anytime and everywhere. And for example, at the end of the school year, when it comes to giving final grades, you can also consider their homework performance, not just classroom performance or test performance. And you have a permanent, consistent record of the homework they have or haven't done. But you know, what I like best regarding the teacher-student relationship and the e-workbook is that our students very often bring Facebook or Twitter or YouTube into the classroom and use it sort of, you know, illegally, stealing our time.
And how can be that prevented with this workbook?
Well, this can be prevented. Well, this might not be prevented, but at least, you know, we get a little bit of revenge.
Oh, revenge, I like that.
Because we reach out with the same digital reality and we make them enter their favorite digital reality, not to use Facebook, not to use Twitter, but to do their English homework at home.
Revenge with homework, I like that. You know, but this year, when September comes and my son goes to his first class in English and he doesn't take his workbook and I ask him where it is, he'll probably show me his mobile phone and I'll have to come to peace with that because Bob Dylan was right. Times, they are a-changing.
Yes, he was right. So we hope you try out the new e-workbook and enjoy it together with your students. Thank you.
Thank you.